Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and this is another StarCraft 2 England cast. Now guys, today I've got game 1 of a best of 3. It is from the Russian StarCraft League and it is between SortOf, the blue Zerg player in the top left, and EmpireKas, the green Terran in the lower right. Now, for those of you who don't know, green is the colour that looks best on every unit in StarCraft 2. It is not up for debate, it is just true. Green just looks awesome on it, I don't know why. But anyway, what can we expect from this ZVT? Well, Kas is a very well-known player to anyone who watches my channel frequently, because I've cast him quite a bit, especially in the Antec Attack tournament back when that was on, because he just did so well in it every single week. And, well, obviously, SortOf, I don't think I've cast quite as much. I think I have cast a few of his games, but I'm predicting we'll have fairly standard things like a 15 hatch out of SortOf. We may actually see a command center first from Kas, because this is a Hana, and Kas is very fond of getting a lot of expansions down quickly. There is, of course, this narrow ramp area, so it's not too hard to hold it, and I think if any map we were going to see a command center first, it would be this. If any player, Kas would be the one to go for it. So we'll wait and see how that does. I think command center first would be a good move here as well, because the third base not too easy to take for Zerg players, because if you look here, I mean, well, a big open space, which is quite beneficial, but you can't get easily between your natural and mains. You've got to kind of defend in this area, so it can be a little bit awkward. Ahana is actually a map that's grown on me massively since it was first introduced in the map pool. Originally I hated Kas, definitely going for that command center first, by the way, because he's up to 300 minerals, should send an SCV over any second. There we go. Literally the timing is perfect from these guys. Now we do have the drone there, just trying to prevent any kind of blocking of that expansion. So the expansion down for SortOf, and literally just half a second later it is down for Kas as well. So this now puts SortOf in an interesting position, because really he's going to be on equal bases for quite a long time, and you, in that situation, you either have to try and push and deal a lot of damage, which on a Han is going to be a nightmare just because of how narrow that ramp is, or you've got to try and take your third base really quickly. I think the third base is the option I would go for on Ahana. It is a safer thing to do than try and do some damage, because all you need is a bunker down here, and you're just not going to do anything in terms of a push. You can't get enough together. The spawning pool on its way down for SortOf right now. The gas for Kas, only the single gas. You can sometimes see Terran players who go for an early command center, get 2 gas up to try and get the reactor Hellions out a bit quicker. But that is not the aim of Kas's play right now. The aim of Kas's play is to get down that great economy for the mid game, for that kind of marine tank medevac era of the game. He may go for mech, that's of course a possibility, but Kas, he tends to like expanding an awful lot, so it wouldn't actually surprise me if we see a third command center very quickly indeed, and that really would put the pressure on SortOf, because taking a third base is easy enough. A fourth, where do you go? It's a bit awkward, so we'll wait and see exactly what happens. But here we go, Kas coming out with that scouting SCV now, should start the orbital commands morphing. There goes both of them. Literally everything on time, exactly as it should be. The first gas on its way down at the moment for SortOf. Kas does still have his 1 gas, which he has been mining out of for quite a while now with those 3 SCVs, but not using it for anything yet, so I'm expecting to see a factory now. He's got up to 100 gas, then he'll get the reactor following on from that. I saw the clicking, there is the SCV on its way over now. Of course, SortOf, what is he up to? Well, his first gas is about to finish up. That will most likely be used for Zergling speed, because it is such an essential upgrade. You want to get it very quickly indeed. But still, SortOf, he does not have a third base out. He has not done any pressure. He's not in a position to do any pressure. And if we look at the work count, it's 23 to 20. Once you factor in those 2 mules, Kas is a very long way ahead in terms of the income. Just here you can see already just how green that is compared to blue, which is always going to be good news for whoever has the bigger bar, because size really does matter in that situation. Now anyway, we do have the factory coming down, the reactor coming down, so Hellions on the way out now. Hellions on this map aren't going to be too useful, SortOf getting up 2 additional queens as well. Love that, like seriously, heart guys, not heart, because, well, that means you can spread the creep so well. On a Hana, it works really well, especially because you can just have 2 lanes of creep tumors coming down and really know what your opponent is going for. The Hellions, they're not going to have too much fun though, because with 3 queens in the natural base, it's just going to be difficult. It's a narrow ramp anyway, it's not going to go too well. Now, it looks like SortOf is going to go and take his third base now. It's a bit later than I would have liked, because of course, if we look here, SortOf isn't as far ahead in terms of the work count as he may like to be, especially when you factor in those mules. And Kas, he's really got got everything going for him at the moment. He's getting the starport up and also a tech lab. That is a great move because that means we're going to have Heli and Banshee. That is the ultimate in terms of harassment because the Hellions come in the front, draw the queens in, and then of course the Banshees come in the back into the main base and start attacking the mineral line. It's very difficult to decide which way to go with that. Now the queens, they are spreading the creep as quickly as they can. The queens will deny the Hellions for the moment. May actually get a creep tumor. They do. That is of course a big win there for Kas. He's going to be very happy with getting creep tumor. Did he actually get the second one? No, he didn't, not quite. So that is still fairly good though. So those Hellions already have a kill on them. 2 more Hellions on the way. Actually 2 kills, so I wonder what else they killed so far. Who knows? But for the moment, resources lost 0-0, so it must have been 2 creep tumors as they don't cost anything. Queen's moving forward, trying to just get a good bit of information on where those Hellions are moving. Of course, the Banshee on its way out. No cloak. You don't have to get cloak in this. It's an optional extra. It meets a lot more of an investment. It hits slightly later. And also, at the end result is, if it doesn't go your way, you've invested more stuff. Now, this is a great little pin out of these Hellions. Great play indeed by SortOf right there. He gets 2 Hellions for literally nothing, which is going to make him very happy. We do have the Baning Nest on its way down. Still only the 2 gas. Compared to Kas's 4, is just getting up his 4th gas finishing. He does have that 3rd command center as well, an orbital command, so Kas, he likes those orbital commands, he likes the mules. In terms of the worker count, it does actually mean Kas is now pulling ahead. That is a great position for Kas to be in right now. The Overlord, rather, is on its way through the base. We do have the double factory coming out now, as well as the double armory. So this is definitely a mech style build out of Kas, but that Overlord is going to see all of it, and for the moment that one Marine is desperately trying to pick off the Overlord, but it may just not be quick enough. We do have the 3rd base moving across, so there's a Zergling there at the moment. Of course, SortOf has had his 3rd base up for a while. The creep spread going quite nicely. The Baning Nest finished. The Roach one on its way out. The double Evo chamber getting the 1 missile attack and 1 armor. So not the 1-1 upgrade you usually see. Spore Crawlers coming down at each of the mining bases just to prevent those Banshee from doing anything too annoying. The Banshees, not actually quite sure where they've even gone at the moment. I appear to have lost 2 Banshees. They are somewhere, that I assure you guys. Perhaps I'm just being blind. There's one, and there's the second one. So I've refound the Banshees. That is always good times. This is a lot of Hellions though. And that 3rd base could be very vulnerable. It does have 3 queens there. The natural would be my port of call with only the 1 queen, but it all depends just how you choose to go for it. Of course, 3 queens will do good damage against the Hellions. And really, even if they line up, it won't go too well. But the Hellions, they can just ignore the queens and go straight in, and that is precisely what Kas is choosing to do. And he's getting so many drone kills right now. Yes, all the Hellions are going to die, but he's done an awful lot of damage with them. And also, we do see here the 2 Banshees coming in, and they are going to get a queen. They're going to see the macro hatch. And now, as long as the control is good, they should get quite a few worker kills as well. That is going to be very nice. Just need to be a bit careful of the Spore Crawler. They're picking off worker after worker. So Kas really doing huge damage right now, and there's nothing in the way of the counterattack. 23 workers already killed. This is crazy good. 2 Thors coming out for Kas as well, so he's transitioning into a very mech heavy style. The Thor count will really depend on what the response is from SortOf. If there's a lot of Thors, you get a lot of Roaches. If there's a lot of tanks, you try and get more Mutas and Zerglings out. That is really the way you play it. Now the Infestation Pit on its way out for SortOf, but just look at how many drones are getting killed. More Queens popping up though, so those Banshees will have to get out there. 1 does unfortunately fall, but as you can see, Kas is so far ahead in terms of the worker count right now. Let's look at this income tab. Wow, that is really in Kas's favour. That is so good. Anyway, we do have a Zergling counterattack. It's on its way in. We do have, well, more queens being produced, a +2 Zerg carapace on the way out. We don't actually have, we should have the +1 Zerg melee attack done, but we don't, so that is going to make that Zergling push a bit weaker. The Hellions very potent. Kas is now in a bit of a rocky stage. He's done great damage, which is the really important thing that he's going to take away from this, but until he gets up to that sort of close to 200 of 200, he's going to struggle to defend any big pushes because he has ultimately gone mech. And well, in grand total, how many? Kas killed 29 workers. That is amazing. This 4th base is taking an awful lot of damage right now. We do have a couple of Zerglings on their way over. The base should just stay, but it's taking a lot of damage. It could actually get picked off. There's a cancel as well. That is very frustrating. The Zerglings are going to try and get these Hellions. The Hellions get pinged back into a corner, so sort of doing incredibly well, but the Hellions somehow squeeze out. A couple do go down. The Queens are there as well. The creep spread, really nice. It could be slightly better in my opinion, but the Hive, it's on its way down. Pathogen Glands is just finishing up. We've got the Spire coming down, so very quick transition into Broodlords. 13 minutes going to Broodlords. Double Spire as well. Wow, that is a good choice. Of course, Broodlords against Mech work incredibly well, because the only thing that shoots up are Thors, which while they do bonus splash damage to air, it's only to light units they really are devastating. So as long as you don't go Mutas, you're in for a good move. Those Infestors are going to be very strong. Would love to see, though, Neural Parasite. I think that is an essential upgrade against Mech if you are getting a heavy amount of Infestors, because that is how you deal with the Thors. You just Neural Parasite them and laugh as his army kills his own army. Trees on fire, those Hellions would not be liked by Greenpeace right now. And, well, this is all going just as Kas would like it. He's getting up that death ball. He's got a good mixture of tanks and Thors. What is he building in the moment? He's building a lot more tanks, so not really much of an emphasis on Thors right now, which means that the Roaches aren't going to be too helpful. That 4th base denied yet again, but Kas does have his Thor base up. He also has a 5th command center in production, a 6th command center, and a 7th command center in production. So when I said earlier that Kas likes command centers, I wasn't lying. It was all the truth. Great fun growth on all the Hellions. The Roaches are getting a good scrum. The tanks aren't sieged up. They need to be sieged up to deal with those Roaches effectively. Some Infested Tones getting lobbed down. That was a good move. That'll allow the tanks to get focused down a bit easier. The Thors getting focused. The tanks getting focused. The 2 siege tanks are trying to do some damage. 4 Banshees actually doing incredibly good hits. The Hellions are doing big damage as well. 40 workers now killed by Kas. This is going very well. The 4th base attempt from SortOf on the other side of the map, but he is still a long way behind in terms of that worker count. If we look at this lovely income chart, you can see that a lot more gas being mined a minute and a lot more minerals being mined a minute by Kas compared to SortOf. So this game, he's got to actively lose right now. A couple of Mutalisks on their way out, just trying to deal with these Banshees. The 3rd base is almost certainly going to fall though, and once that 3rd base goes down, that is a massive nail in the coffin. Quite a few of these drones will also fall, sacrificing the Banshees because they have done their job. They have very successfully cut the production capability and the income of SortOf. Kas has got a big army behind this. He has got so many orbital commands. This is just ridiculous. How many mules does Kas have right now? Let's have a look, shall we? It's only at 3. I'm disappointed, Kas. Usually you have like 7 mules down at a time, and that's with doing good mule cooldowns. You do have some missile turrets being built ASAP to try and deal with these Mutalisks. The Greatest Fire on its way. So many drones in production right now for SortOf, but he's up to 72, but it's there with 80 workers. Missile turrets are not available at the 3rd base yet, nor at the natural, nor at the main as far as I can see, so those Mutas are just going to have fun times. The Thor is there though. Those Thors deal splash damage to air and will pick off those Mutas very easily if they do decide to clump up, but for the moment they are not clumping. Kas bringing over 1 Viking. 1 lone Viking. 2 Thors are there though. They could very much ruin those Mutas there, and the Mutas do clump up momentarily. Mass splash damage, and that is the end of that thread. And Kas is still ahead in terms of the workers. Absolutely crazy. Mass expansions going on here right now by SortOf. He's trying to get up to 5 bases to basically stay ahead of Kas, but Kas is just moving 1 command center to have enough space to build another command center. Kas loves command centers. I reckon there's a poster in his room of a command center. That is how much he likes them. But why not? Because he has got great economy and he is just pumping out the units right now. This 5th base is not going down. That is definitely going to get cancelled. There's too many tanks and Thors there. Damage will be absolutely insane, as you can already see. Doing so much. SortOf nowhere near maxed out. He's about 50 supply behind, but does have some Broodlords. Those Broodlords could be the saving grace right now. Seriously, Broodlords are going to decimate his army, especially with only 1 Viking. You need more than 1 to deal with Broodlords, just FYI. The Thors will help, but of course Thors, their Javelin missile launchers do bonus damage to light. The damage against armoured or non-light units is so unsubstantial that it's not really going to help the fight too much. Of course, one Spine Quarter out here, the Kas is just moving across. He is going to do epic damage right now, and that base is gone. The siege is up, and even though the Broodlords are coming, I don't know how effective it's going to be. That base is gone anyway, and that of course means that it's still a 3-base Zerg against a 4-base Terran. Now, we do have the Viking there. The Thors are doing good hits. The Queen's transfusing as quickly as they can. Kas needs to unsiege those tanks though, because they are just splashing his own units. The Thor's trying to do some damage as best they can. Focus firing down, but the Transfuse is absolutely on the money. And it looks like SortOf is getting the first big win of the game by managing to pick off all of this stuff. The Viking will go down, and now all of these tanks getting cleaned out. We do have some roaches coming in, but there's just too much reinforcements. So many more Vikings on the field now as well now for Kas. He's got 5 there already, 4 more in production. He has got 1 more. He's getting the 1-1 ship plating and the ship weapons. While there was a couple of roaches in, Kas looks in a good spot. Needs to transfer some of these workers from his main and natural just down to the other bases. He is muling like crazy though. How many? He's got 7 mules out, so that's more to be expected. He's moving down to take his 5th base as well. This is absolutely brilliant play by Kas, who is still just phenomenally ahead. The work count is so much higher for Kas compared to SortOf right now. The tech is there as well. The 4 Broodlords, while they're effective, there's just not the money for SortOf. Look at Kas, he's banking nearly 4,000 minerals. Seriously, if I had 4,000 minerals, what I could do with them, I don't know what I would be able to do with them. It depends on the mineral ultimately and its market value, but that is beside the point of StarCraft. We do have a small counterattack coming in, just a handful of Zerglings, which should get some mule kills, which is annoying for Kas, but you may have noticed he's not really struggling for minerals, so he probably doesn't mind. He just cools down some more, because that's what he can do when you have all of these orbital commands. How many does he have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 orbital... No, 8 command centers, some of which are orbital commands, some are planetary fortresses. He's got 2 planetary fortresses at the bases opposite sides of the map. Great move. It means the Zergling one-bys won't be as effective. The 4th and 5th attempts are very vulnerable. I could very much see at least the 5th attempt going down now. We do have a couple more Broodlords on the field, 6 Broodlords and a grand total of 12 Corruptors just to try and deal with the Vikings. But what is the Viking count at 11? Not quite as high as perhaps Kas would want it. Kas sending in some more of these lovely Hellions. Hellions doing 25 damage a hit right now. That is absolutely mad. So 2 hits from the Hellions do melt absolutely everything. And well, this is just melting the drones so quickly, and all through this game Kas has been harassing and harassing and harassing with his units. He's sending in quite a few Hellions just to the other base. The 5th base was cancelled right there. It is now 78 to 56 workers in Kas's favour. Let's look at the lovely, look at that difference right there. 2,000 compared to just under 600 minerals, and there is the GG from SortOf. He knows it all over, and that was game 1. It goes to Kas very convincingly. So guys, if you did enjoy the cast, please subscribe, thumbs up, and leave a cool comment, but most importantly, flick over to my channel, and I will see you at game 2 of this best of 3 any second. Bye for now.